Welcome to this week's episode of Azentuary. This one is going to be a little different. It's more of an epilogue. Our journey began long ago in a forest far away, with a gnome, or something very much looking like one, falling from the heavens. A warning that something dark was rising, the Old Ones, and something evil, humanoid, perhaps once a man, was releasing them. Through months of travel and battles galore, the companions rose to meet challenge after challenge. And there were losses. Great heroes that came before fell to save them, to advance the cause and keep evil at bay long enough for a prophecy to come true. The fall of the boss. The one responsible for the release of the Old Ones, but he came back, rebuilt his body to continue his work. Yet, in the nick of time he was stopped, and the party was sent at least 1,000 years back into the far distant history of the kingdom. Distraught and feeling hopeless, the heroes didn't know where to go, but stumbling their way to the city at the heart of creation, an unlikely ally was found. A god whose interference was forbidden far into the future could act here before the events began to unfold. A quest for materials was given to the farthest reaches of the heavens and torturous hells. The great forge of Gond yielding weapons capable of fighting not only the boss, but a godly avatar bent on ending existence. With this power, the heroes broke the royal vizier, the man who would in time have become the boss. Finding their way back across the eons, they then faced a great avatar, the puppet master in charge. It too fell to their might, and our heroes brought peace. Yet, there was still change and loss. An old companion was released as many bargains came to an end. Theseus returned to dust, and Alpha, body broken by the encounter, lay dead and defeated. But something strange happened. The synthetic parts of his body turned to flesh, and he rose. A physical form that none had ever seen made itself known. Now, standing in the ruins surveying the aftermath of their quest, we ask, what now? What life lies before you?
You left out the genocide.
Yes, well, it's history. We tend to gloss over those things.
That's right. Winners write history.
Left out genocide. We put hard work into that genocide. Excuse you.
Well, I mean,
I'm kidding. That was actually a really easy genocide. It should not have been that easy. Pretty terrible. I didn't mean that to happen.
And honestly, it's not really. I'm sure there's still merman settlements away from the city. More, yokels out in the hinterlands.
Just because
Could be pretty
just
good,
because some survive doesn't mean it's not a genocide.
Oh, I mean, isn't the definition of genocide actually the destruction of a race or a species of people?
It's more
Well,
like the
it's a
attempted
Yeah,
systematic killing.
yeah. It's
anyways, on lighter notes, I suppose
Yes.
we all going next.
Who would like to go? Yeah, well, you guys are down in this cave. This is where we ended off. Do you make your way just kind of back up, slowly trudge back to the surface?
One second before we get into this. So I just looked up the definition of genocide, and it says the deliberate killing of a large number of people from a particular nation or ethnic group with the aim of destroying that nation or group. Ours was more accidental. So
we were told what would happen if we proceeded with our actions.
Okay, so instead of genocide, you just get several million counts of involuntary manslaughter.
there you go. And
Yes,
And-
exactly.
isn't that what you would call a statesman or
Sure.
a diplomat?
We made a political statement. Millions of them may die, but that's a sacrifice we're willing to make.
Ray says we should get out of the dusty, crusty cave and get something to drink. This calls for a celebratory drink.
Awesome. Well, you guys make your way back to the surface and find one of those long-established taverns that's been there since the days of yore. handed down generation after generation. No one really knows what you did, but you do. And you sit down and take a glass together, satisfied.
Orden drinks way too much because he hasn't had food or drink in very long time.
Oh, nice.
God, these cookies, the flavor.
Dane is very happy to keep supplying Warden with dwarven ale.
Ah, excellent.
Here's the poor sap.
Dane elbows Ray and goes, "Hey, psst, you know what you should do? You should get Margaret drunk and see what happens."
Don't. I want juice, please. Yeah, I don't have any qualms with Margaret. Why would I want to get her drunk? I don't care.
Might be entertaining. Come on, Ray.
No, that's not entertaining. That's possibly ruining someone's life, of purity.
Well, she is absolutely at hanging on Castros the whole time.
As is Jeremy.
Literally in that case.
Well, Dane, where are you gonna go after this?
I don't know. I think I need a vacation first. I might just wander around for a bit just to kind of. Well, actually, I've been wandering for quite a long time, but yeah, I mean, the world's a big place. I might just kind of wander around and see where the wind takes me.
Before you guys go, I just wanted to say thank you for breaking me out of that shell. It really sucked. Here. Orden pulls out a book. You should sign your names in here. Trust me, it's really good idea.
What is this book?
It's magic book. Really good. You know I'm called Warden, right? I watch things. Keep safe. Just sign.
All right. Dane shrugs and signs. Like, what can possibly go wrong?
I think I'll be okay. I don't know if I want to sign that.
Alright, it is your life. I just want to say thank you.
Just think about it. If you ever get in trouble, he's a watcher, so he might actually be able to send you help.
Oh, fine. Why not? Castros can sign.
Ray, are you going to sign? Are you going to sign the book, Ray?
Yeah, we're gonna sign the book with her.
Her mark. She'll make her mark.
Because Starless Adventure couldn't read.
Yep.
Now I can. I'm sure my penmanship has improved.
No, there you go.
Alright. Now, once a day, the first person who drops to 0 hit points and dies instead gets revived to 1 hit point instead.
That's good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, see, it's an extra little perk. You feel a warm sense of protection going over you when you sign the book.
Very nice. Dane forgot himself.
Awesome.
Gordon
So-
just sits there warming up another froth of beer. He's not quite sure whether to drink it cold or warm, so he's trying out different temperatures. Ooh, this would be interesting.
I like this tavern setting. This is a good place to build from. So, actually, let's start with Dane, since you mentioned, seeing where the winds will take you. So let's say the next morning you go out and you jump on one of the ships that's leaving harbor. What direction? Give me a rough direction of where you think you might end up. Like, cardinally.
I don't know. Dane kind of likes the idea. He likes the idea of research, so he would want to go to some place that would have a good library, and then so he actually would probably want to maybe research, kind of hang out and look into maybe researching lost dwarven homelands.
Oh, well, I mean, you are in the capital. It does have, it's kind of like the Library of Alexandria right there. I mean, you wouldn't even have to go anywhere.
Well, then that's where Dane will go.
All right, cool. Well, let's say you do that and give me an intelligence roll really quick.
Oh, no.
No, this is a good thing.
Okay, so. Okay, so that's 17.
Awesome. You actually find that this is a good fit for you. You really like it here. You find that it's comfortable. You are just absorbing information like crazy. And let's see, 5 months just breeze by as you are just reading book after book, and some of the histories you learn, you just fill your brain with tons of information about the dwarves and their lore and where ancient cities used to lie, just all sorts of cool stuff.
Sweet. I like it.
But after that time, do you leave or do you stay?
So during that 5 months, he doesn't neglect his physical training because that's kind of been habit. So he's not letting himself get soft. Yeah, he actually is going to decide to see if he can find one of these lost dwarven homelands. That'll be his new quest.
Awesome. All right. Well, you set out on that quest, and let's see. Just roll me a d20 and tell me what you get.
Five.
Self here. So you search far and wide. You spend the next. You actually end up spending the next 2 years searching around to no avail, and you are about to give up when roll another d20.
Rolling.
Get your dwarf hands rolling.
I think that's only a 7.
7. You find foundations, the old marked spaces where some houses and entrances used to be, and a completely collapsed cave or mine that looks almost like it was hidden to be a cave.
Okay, cool.
This is all that remains of what you were searching for.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, so Dane's not going to pick any kind of little random settlement. He's going to go for one of the, old time, like one of the great dwarven homes. So he's going to assume that, underneath that half buried mine, that it actually is going to open up into, something vast.
Cool. So you're just going to start trying to clear rubble and dig in. Basically excavate.
Not by himself. No, he's going to go see if he can find some of his other kind and get them to come with him. Because one person trying to dig that thing out would be kind of an exercise in field. He could spend the next 50 years trying to dig that out by himself.
Sure. Roll me persuasion.
Oh no! A dwarf with very little charisma trying to persuade. Oh my god! 4.
You find that the locals refuse to go and help you. They consider the area to be sacred, like it's the place of the ancestors. It's almost like a tomb that is not to be touched to them.
Undeterred, Dane's going to go find some people that will help.
Okay. You start going far and wide. Roll me just a d20. Tell me what you get.
3. Alex,
Yeah,
your D20 is letting me down.
I tried.
Yeah, you just can't seem anyone to find anyone that's interested in these particular ruins. You are kind of lost and disparaged. In fact, you wander around. You end up spending almost 9 months wandering around trying to find anyone to come and join you on this, and just no one seems to want to do it. Until, give me a, let's see, give me a survival check.
Okay. Well, that's a better roll than I've been doing. Oh, okay, cool. 17.
Oh, nice. Let's double check that. Yeah. So you come across a traveling family that's having a hard time. They seem to be stuck. Their foodstuffs had rotted. One of them has dysentery, and we're gonna this you found them on the Dwarfigan Trail, and
Okay.
and you're able to take care of them. You nurse them back, and they feel indebted to you, so follow you back to help you with your excavation work.
Perfect.
There are 3
Yes,
of them in total.
3 of them.
Yes.
So we've got a dwarven daddy, a dwarven mommy, and a little dwarven child.
Yes, though you can't tell the difference between any of them.
I would think I'd be able to. I am a dwarf after all.
Okay, fine. Yes, you can, but no one else can. I was just trying to set up a joke.
I know.
So yes, you continue on, and you spend the next while doing that. We'll just leave you to do your excavations for a bit.
Okay.
So that is your task for the next at least several months of work. Back to the tavern. Who would like to go next?
It's like calling on from a reading class.
All right, fine. Then Castros, you go next.
Oh,
How about that? Would you rather Ray?
No, it's fine. You know what? I think I'll actually have a change of pace. You know, I'm going to maybe try and live life a bit slower, like those stupid hippies always talk about. Appreciate what I have. Maybe go back to Margaret's village with her. Try some new hobbies like sewing or cooking, baking. You know, that sounds like fun. I still go into the woods, obviously. More relaxed, turning into animals just to kind of chill and observe other animals from a cautious distance.
You are totally going to turn into Hagrid.
That's
Making friends with monsters. That's what Castros is going to do.
nice. Well, let's see. Castros, roll me a survival check really quick.
We got to find our lucky dice.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
Yeah,
She did.
21.
21. Nice. So yeah, you actually you're so good at going out in the woods and spending your time in nature that the Margaret's town actually starts to consider you kind of their protector. In fact, there is a particularly harsh winter that besets the village, and people panic. They start thinking there's not going to be enough food, but you are able to go out in the woods and you bring down, deer and elk and the things that are capable of feeding everyone. In fact, you're so good at doing this that you're able to also, provide skins and keep children warm that otherwise would have frozen to death.
My gosh,
And
my weapon and crafting from like animal materials has come into handy. Now I make clothes and blankets. Where I can sell these for a profit. Our village will become famous. We'll be known as the Quilt Village. Come, my friends, I shall teach you. We shall make a living. We shall prosper.
Making leather quilts.
Yeah.
All right.
the people are very confused at first. They're a simple folk, not looking to profit particularly. They just wish to survive. And in fact, as part of that, let's see. You, let's say, after, let me roll. Let's see. You have a hard time adjusting, but after about 5 months, you get used to the idea of, living in town, being around these people. It is quite the change, but it's something that has benefited you. You seem to be, they appreciate you, and you feel softened towards them. In fact, that the house that Margaret inherited and gave to you seems comfortable. It's the place that, remember, she made to basically be as comfortable for you as possible, kind of mimicking the outdoors but inside, so you guys could live a life together. In fact,
Yours is still weird, but I'm getting used to it.
yeah, you start getting used to it, and she, after, let's see, you get comfortable living inside, and let's say after that winter, when the spring comes, Margaret approaches you and asks if you think it's time that maybe you should grow your family.
I'm not fit to be a father. The best I can do is raise sloths, Margaret.
Well, she offers to, traditionally in her culture, it's the women that raise the children, and the men provide.
Too. He does half of it.
Well, this is a point of cultural conflict. So for her, in her society, it's her job to raise the children.
I would feel bad having her do all the work. I should help too.
You're very progressive.
Oh. Duh, it's like, I see all the time stupid animal dads go off and leave the stupid babies, like, those babies die, like...
Well, she praises
You
all
follow
of
the
your
way of the
skills.
seahorse.
Yeah. Well, she praises your skills in taking care of everyone and thinks you would be a great father.
Come on, Casserose. Come on. Come on, Casserose.
Oh no.
I have a feeling she'll eventually wear him down.
Sure.
I'm
Do you want to
kinda
just
surprised-
do you want to leave it to a dice roll?
Sure, miserable.
Here, I'll roll versus.
It's a Cassero's versus Margaret roll. See?
I don't
There
wish
you
to
go.
see Margaret in that way. She is too pure.
Well, you've been sleeping together all winter, haven't you?
Not like
You'd have to
that.
get warm.
She's pure. I wish to.
Well-
I want to be there for her, not like the stupid. Animal sex is rough, man. I don't want. That's the only basis I have.
Well,
Is
roll
that-
your persuasion versus mine.
Like that. She deserves better than that.
Well, your persuasion
Well-
versus Vince.
Oh, great. 15.
I'm trying to decide if this is a high or a low. I think that it's really close. If it was going to be more definitive, I think eventually she wears you down. And roll me.
Roll a fertility check.
Roll me a 1d4 real quick.
Parenting is from animals, and animals suck at parenting.
Roll 1d.
1d. 1.
Okay. So she only one time is able to persuade you. And from that one time, give me one more 1d12 20. Get just a straight d20 roll.
16.
Ah. She was not fertile.
Huh?
Oh, you've let down your partner.
She got Castros drunk one night.
Take 1d4 psychic damage. You're depressed now because your partner's upset. No, I don't, the only basis I have for parenting is animals, as much as I feel like I know a lot about that. I don't know much about how humans work. I don't know how to be a proper father. I definitely don't want to act like those stupid animal dads. They suck.
Well,
I mean, you are the one that convinced Alpha that babies explode, so I would think you'd have. I don't know.
Yeah. But that was a joke.
Alpha didn't
well,
know
she
it was a
notices
joke.
she notices your awkwardness and actually doesn't even bring it up again until the following spring.
Wow, it's a long time.
But her clock is ticking.
God. Alright. Margaret, does this really mean that much to you?
Yes, Castros. It really does.
Alright. For you, I will do my best to raise the family and be the father that you deserve, Margaret.
Cool. So you
Alright, cool. You want
all
to
right?
roll?
Well, sure. Yeah. Roll me another d20.
7.
Oh yeah, you got her that time.
You got her that time. I gotta say it like that.
Well, how about this? She had. Oh god. She's. Well, it sounds weird to say fertilized, impregnated, whatever.
Better than
Hey, you
mounted.
chose this.
And just
Mr. DM.
just for fun, give me another 1d4 roll.
It was a successful baking operation.
2.
2. All right. Yep. You have one. She has one child, and it is.
Ugly.
No, I was making sure it survives the birth, and it does.
Yay.
And let's see, it successfully lives for you're good.
Whew.
So you do a good job raising it.
Castros was.
Tiefling baby?
It's a tiefling human, so it's like kind of looks like Margaret but with horns.
Hey, is it a girl or a boy?
Let's high-low this. You had a. Well, give me a. What would you? Well, here before I answer it, because I rolled. So let's tell me high, low, girl or boy. Would you want girl to be high or low?
Hi.
Okay, then you had a boy.
Oh.
Boy, baby boy, he's gonna go hunting with me. I'm gonna show him all the secrets of the forest. He's gonna go out with me on nature walks. We're gonna go look at the birds together.
A little
Gonna
boy
go do
like
nature
Castros.
checks.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do projects together. I'll show him all my I'll write books for him about like all the different adventures I've been on.
And then
Maybe he'll be a druid like me someday.
and then he gets to be a teenager and decides he's going to be a Gandhian priest.
Son, no, don't turn towards this path.
Well, here I'll let's do a.
No. Let's not. I really don't want that to play out.
No. I just want to make sure that I want to check the parenting skills. So let's do a A persuasion check?
For me?
Yes.
Oh god. Nat 20! Let's go!
You are an amazing father. Despite your worries and concerns, you teach that kid everything. He is like the little druid that could.
My child! Beautiful child!
And you were so against having one in the beginning.
Well, yeah. Imagine Cassource as a father. How do you think that's
Okay.
gonna play out?
Apparently excellently.
Apparently, I when it comes to nature, I really know what I'm talking about.
And you know what?
and just... What?
I can totally see Castros and Margaret starting a sloth rehabilitation center.
Honey! We should create, like, a vet area. I'll teach you how to do animal care. We should, like, help care for, like, wounded animals that people find. You know, the world's first vet.
Sure, you basically... Why not? Give me a d20. Just a straight roll.
15.
Yeah, you're the area's Steve Irwin now.
Yeah! Oh,
Crikey, son, look! It's a native giant python in its natural habitat. Shh, we must be quiet now. It's trying to go on the hunt. Oh yeah.
get onto that branch, son. You don't want to fall.
How we pick it up by the tail, even though it's,
It's
40
very-
feet.
And this is how we harvest the teeth.
I was waiting for that.
Thomas.
Oh my god. All right. Oh, that's worked out brilliantly. Let's step back to the tavern as the little nature preserve, plays out. Now, Ray, you have your night of drinking, and then
Well, Ray doesn't know what to do with her life now. She went on this whole adventure, but she don't know where to go. She could go back home, but it hasn't been home for her for years.
fair.
Not everyone left here.
Yeah, and
Everyone's
she's gone.
Yeah. Well, she was gone before she died anyways. She left me
Yeah.
at that house one day, didn't say goodbye, never came back. So I just kind of made do there, waiting for her to come back, even though eventually I stopped waiting for that day. So I got nothing to return to. I have no real emotional attachment to that place. Nor do I have any emotional attachment to my first home. So Ray doesn't have a home right now.
That's
Nor does
fine.
she know where to go.
You're more of a ranger, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, just hang out with Warden.
I mean, Ray can't even go back to the hot elf dude. Because he was
How
in
do
the
you know?
past. Well, it's
Well,
been
yes.
years. Probably dead.
Maybe you should explore, go check on things.
I mean, I suppose.
And with Warden, you can probably, he can probably get you down there pretty easily.
Eh. Ray doesn't know if she wants more adventure. Or, again, she doesn't know what to do. Maybe she should explore the world Evelyn was so fascinated with.
Yeah. So, just go like second star to the right and straight on till warning.
Sure. Why not? Maybe learn a new
Awesome.
skill. Maybe multi-class.
There you go. All right. Well, let's just give me a 1d4.
2.
2. So you head east. You go out through the straits past the capital complex and into the Great Sea. Now that the area is open for trade, you can go right into the big bay. You can go straight in and see the various towns mining along the mountainsides on the next continent over. And you get to meet all sorts of people. There's, individuals moving around performing all sorts of jobs. The dwarves are working down in the mines. The gnomes are, counting their money, doing their thing. You don't really see many elves, but every now and then there's, one that pops up and is surprised to see a fellow elf. But you get along pretty cordially.
Fair
And
enough.
then, is there? You're here. You get to meet people, maybe take some odd jobs, stuff like that. But everything's just simple for you.
Yeah.
Are you interested in anything here?
Ray doesn't have any passions, dreams, aspirations, nothing to work towards. So,
Okay. Well, let's give me let's see. Give me a perception check.
$22.
As you are, kind of wandering through life, because now that you don't really care or have to do anything, you happen to be sitting at a tavern, overlooking the sea one night, and you hear the tale from a guy about some ancient elf that has lived far longer than any other elf. One that was supposed to be dead but has somehow prolonged his life, and how he has been searching for a female elf that he lost long ago.
I'm a stand up from my table where I'm at, walk over to this table, sit down, be like, so, y'all know where that elf is?
It's just a story. It can't be true. No elf could live so long. It's not possible.
Well, fair enough, but I've lived through the impossible, boys. So, y'all know anything?
I mean, I guess they say that if you can find a portal, that you got to get all the way to. What was the name of that place, Bill? Sigil. Oh yeah, you got to go all the way to that place called Sigil.
I've done it before, I can do it again. Thanks, Matt. I thank you mighty, partners.
You're welcome. All right. Let's see. Roll me a investigation.
Oh boy, intelligence. My best characteristic. Totally not my worst. That's neat.
So you are having a heck of a time. You're kind of searching for where this story could be, have filtered through from, thinking that maybe that's where there's a portal. You can't find one. You can't think of who to talk to, but eventually you end up at a market, this bazaar, and you see something that's peculiar and out of the ordinary. And eventually you inquire about it. Roll me a persuasion.
Great. Come on, dice. I needed to roll good for me. 16.
Oh, you did good. Yeah, the person is very persuaded to tell you about how they acquired this object. There apparently is a interplanar trader that you can meet. You just have to go from where you're at around towards the this peninsula, but you have to cross the desert to get there. But once you're there, you can meet with this guy, and he Basically can get you anything you want from around the multiverse for a price. So
Alrighty.
roll me a survival check.
Nat 20.
Oh, you make it flawlessly. You are on a mission. You get all the way out to the peninsula. You're like, you're the dude I'm looking for. You're there. And
Caller. I want to get to Sigil now.
yep. That's not a problem. Let me finish up this transaction, and I'll be on my way. Yeah, well, you come with me.
Alrighty.
He goes over and deals with some goods and trades with some people that are in kind of a caravan that are, getting ready to leave. And goes to you. He's like, oh, all right, get in the wagon. We all got to be inside the wagon. Keep your hands and feet inside at all times.
Yeah. Same up first portal traveling.
All right. Well, I don't know. Wouldn't want to leave a piece of you scattered all over the multiverse. So he jumps on his wagon and gives the reins a whip, and this huge, kind of hairy oxen-looking creature starts to pull, and you notice that there's no bumps. It's not like being in a wagon going down the road. It's just all of a sudden almost like on a beam of light as it rides on this roadway until you kind of go through a circle and you find yourself in the market district of Sigil.
Well, I thank you kindly. And I'm gonna just walk up. You know what? I'm gonna go to that tea place where we had our first date. I'm gonna go there.
Awesome. You go there and you sit for a while, and they serve you a cup of tea, and roll me just a straight d20.
In a roll. 18.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, you beat the crap out of my roll.
It's about
All right.
time.
Yeah. Well, you are there. You actually sit for quite a while, almost 4 hours. You're hanging around and waiting until you see kind of an old man assisted by a couple of aides that he comes and sits. And you watch him as he takes a cup of a tea, sips it, sets it down, begins looking around the market, and then stops, eyes fixed on you, just staring.
I'm gonna tip my hat to him.
He raises a finger and kind of lets out a sigh. You can tell it's a shock. It's like he's seen a ghost almost.
I mean, fair enough. If it is the guy, then, he probably doesn't think I'm really alive, maybe.
Well, after seeing this, one of the aides comes over and says, excuse me, ma'am, but my master would like you to join him at his table if you would be so kind.
Would. And I get up and join him.
As you go over, he kind of eyes you up and down, and you hear, Ray, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
I waited so long. I did everything to extend my life. I know I should have died long ago, but I knew you would come back.
Sorry.
No, you are worth it. Just being here. Thousands of cups of tea. All of it. It really is you, though.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry about the whole wait. how to get here.
Uh, he signals over to his man and says, I have saved something for you all of this time. Please come with me.
I get up and follow him.
He, can barely walk. In fact, he has to basically be almost carried by his assistants. And you see that he has not only maintained the old wagon that he kept for so long, but he has made quite the bustling business around it. There are several, shopkeepers obviously working for him, doing business, various business, busy work stuff. And he, walks up inside, and I assume you follow.
Yep.
Cool. Well, you see the lavish palace that was, although somewhat in a state of decay. There's definitely been maintenance done, but it's nowhere near what it was when you first, came here so long ago. And he goes over to this big, ornate cabinet and takes out 2 rings. And he hands one to you and says, I have waited so long. Will you join me? The elves, they told me these rings came from Celestia. They will let us be together.
I mean, is that all they told you? Like that could mean a lot of different things. Like we could be together, but also we could both be dead.
Well, death would be an awfully big adventure, but no, I believe these are meant for us. I have faith in this chance.
Well, I don't have a lot much to really go for, so why not? I mean, if I was to risk any life, if I'd risk my life for anything, it'd probably be for this.
You see a little smile come across his face and a tear roll down his eye. And do you put the ring on?
Yep. I mean, it's been a while since I've been on an adventure at this point, so might as well go on another one.
He's shaking so bad he can barely get it on his finger. It takes him some time. But he slides it down and then reaches out to take your hand.
I take his hand back. This is kind of weird now. He's an old man, but
But when you do, you feel something, a tingling, almost like how do I put this? Like when your arm goes numb and it just goes over your entire body, and you see his wrinkles start to flatten out and his posture become a little taller. But you also notice that yours starts to shrink a bit. And you find yourselves not in your idealized young form, but now as more later middle-aged elves. Both a little older, looking a little wiser, but balanced.
I think that suits us plenty.
He's like, well, I already grew old once, but now I'm looking forward to growing old together.
Suck it out! Now that's an adventure I'm willing to go on.
Excellent. And he walks over and calls out the door for a plate of fruit to be brought. And he opens up a nice bottle of Touquet and serves it, while a platter of food comes in, and you get to eat next to the light strumming of a lute.
Yeah, the laugh, being treated like royalty. I mean, also, he's just an ass guy, but I'm just saying.
The money.
The money definitely helps.
Well, you found someone that is absolutely in awe of you.
No.
and I mean, maybe this time around.
the love in this couple.
I mean, maybe this time around, maybe I should let my walls down a bit, you know, get to know him a little bit more. I mean, we have pretty long time.
Yeah, as elves, you've got probably, what, 50 to 70 years together there, assuming that there's no more artificial life extension.
Yeah.
Well, they're both middle-aged now, right?
Yeah.
I would think a couple hundred at least.
Well, probably a couple hundred years was exchanged, to make him younger and her older.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what is an elf's normal lifespan? Isn't it about 800, give or take?
I don't know what it is in this. I think it's... Well, let's just say that he was so old that it took quite a lot for his restoration.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Again, Ray doesn't have much that she really wants to do no more. So might as well live a short and good life. Then I'll on it.
There you go. A short life for an elf, which is a standard human, so, yeah. But, cool. Well, let's bounce back to the tavern and check in with Warden, formerly Alpha.
Well, Warden is a little bit sad that the entire party abandoned him, but, he still understands. They have their own things they need to do. So, the next day when he sobers up, he thinks it's about time to exact a little bit of revenge for the imprisonment and humiliation he was forced to endure. So, he goes out in search of Gondian strongholds or temples.
Places where converts might congregate?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay. Well, you are in the capital city, so it doesn't take you very long. And you do find a group of smiths that are forging in Gon's name.
But he does not want to actually stay in the city. He's looking for their resource caches outside the city, places where they might be chopping down trees or, operating not so much, let's say, the main resource harvesting areas out in the wilderness.
Okay, well, most of that's imperial trade, so that would be, the forester bringing in trees on behalf of many of the trades, not just the smiths.
Then we must go out and search beyond the cities to search for congregation points that are more wild.
Okay, roll me a investigation.
What is my investigation now?
+2.
Yes. Oh, wow. 5.
Yeah, you are really not successful at doing that. You realize that despite the fervor of your previous form, that the followers that were created tended to stay more in those cities where there is a lot of commerce and places where they could trade. But you do recall, in fact, roll a history check.
History, isn't that also +2? Okay. Also 5.
You recall there's the place where Bronze Forge was, where you had battled him in the City of Brass.
Yes. That might be a little too much at this stage inside the city. Instead, he goes and he searches in vain. He goes to find a lush wilderness that would be teeming with animals that might be under threat of poachers.
Okay. Well, that's relatively easy to find. I mean, you head to the southern continent and you locate that.
All right. So, since all the other companions have disappeared for an indeterminate amount of time, Warden spends his time moving dirt to create a pit in this area. Like, not too deep, so we're still readily accessible in many ways, but deep enough that nothing can easily climb out of, with sheer rock faces. Using... I do have... actually can shape earth, mold earth in the process to help create this sheer inescapable pit.
Okay.
Yeah?
You do that.
Then, across the area that he is protecting, he uses hallucinatory terrain to make it look like a lush and verdant land that poachers would want to enter.
Okay.
He's turning into a gorilla druid.
Apparently.
He's not a druid. He just has his own vendettas. Alright.
He's got a lot of pent-up aggression to work on.
Yeah, he does. Like, quite a few...
Good therapy.
Quite a while of aggression and frustrations. And he must resume his duties. So, he creates this trap. It's like a 150-foot cube that looks like this perfect hunting spot. And attempts to lure people in.
Roll a persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay. Oh, this I actually have really decent on, because he's very charismatic. Just didn't have a chance to talk to people. Alright, that's an 18.
Oh yeah, you draw him in. In fact, there is a party of 6 that comes walking straight into it. In fact, the first guy, your setup is so persuasive that the first guy who goes in, falls down, disappears. The others are looking around, don't see it, and then they follow, and each one after the next falls in until you have all 6 of them in your pit.
Okay, so we're going to say it's roughly a 20-foot deep pit.
So as they go in, they each take 14 fall damage.
All right. Which one looks the strongest?
Let's say the first one that fell in.
Okay, there's 6 of them in total, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as they fall into the pit, he is going to Eldritch Blast the 5 others that are not looking as strong.
Okay. I'm going to just say, because you have the element of surprise, you have advantage, and you hit them, and you blast them all, and we'll say they're all unconscious. Not quite dead. We'll treat them like player characters.
Okay. And then the last one, who I'm guessing is shocked and trying to figure out what's going on, he gets a finger of death.
Oh, good lord.
Wow.
But
Warden's turning into a serial
no,
killer.
here's the thing. Finger of death, if the humanoid creature, like medium-sized, dies from it, it becomes a permanent undead follower.
Okay, well, he dies from it.
Great.
So you have an undead follower.
First thing Warden commands him to do is ensure that his companions are all dead.
He dispatches the companions.
All right. Then we're going to... I think I have Dimension Door. Yes, I do. Dimension Door all the bodies out of it into a separate clearing area, including my new undead follower, and sit and wait. And repeat this ad infinitum as much as possible. Oh,
good lord.
Warden is just going to create, keep setting up and repeating this and building a heathen army. An army of those who will be protectors, undying protectors of the land. Or once they sought to take advantage they shall instead protect.
All right, I'm gonna just have you do some rolls. First, roll me a straight 1d20.
Okay. 10.
Okay. Now roll me a 1d12.
D12.
Oh. I guess I should have just rolled that. All right. I have my number for it. So 10 puts you there. I think we lost
I'm
him.
here.
So, I never got your
Oh,
number.
10 and 9. Like the 1D.
For
10 was on the 1d20
oh,
and
9.
9 was on the
9 was your-
1d12.
Gotcha. So you actually, all right, you end up doing this a total of 12 times. And after that, the stories circulate that that the area is cursed and no one goes there anymore. And though you try to persuade them, you can't seem to get anyone else to show up.
That's okay. We can pack up and move on.
Okay, so basically you're just going to travel around doing that.
Wherever glades are threatened and poachers strike, wardens shall be there watching.
All right. Well, the first one takes you like 7 months, and then there's a year before you find the next one, and then you're there for about 5 months, and then 2 years to the next one, and it takes you a while.
Okay.
So you have a bunch of undead wandering around.
Oh, no, actually, I got a better idea for this. For those undead, to keep them all contained, so they don't, put people off, every day after he makes a new one, he opens a door to a demi-plane and stores them inside.
Okay. All right, so you just you basically have them, a bunch of them in an item of holding.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, we'll let this go on for a while. So you basically collect a bunch of them. Let's say in total, by the end, you give a total of 50 of them in a demi.
Okay, so I think that could fit in a 30-foot space. Yeah, we can do it.
Lord.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you run off and do that stuff for a while, and years pass, and things work out pretty well. Although eventually, each of you has your own life events that occur.
Does Margaret
then-
try to get pregnant again?
She does, but I mean, we could roll for the success, but generally speaking, things work out well. There's eventually some, various issues that crop up, but generally speaking, everyone, lives a pretty good, long life. And then the question has to be asked to everyone. All right, do we leave your characters here and let them live out their days doing their various tasks? Or do they get called back for another adventure?
She's done. She has her happily ever after. Leave her alone.
I kind of figured.
If any of her friends came to her, depending on the severity, she might go with them, but it'd have to take a lot of convincing, because she's done with, the whole adventuring.
Well, she's middle aged now, so she
Yeah,
might not even be physically up to it.
Yeah.
Though I don't know, she might be one of those people that some young punk tries to take advantage of her, and then she ends up cleaning his clock because
Well, yeah. But yeah, so because Ray, she never set out to be a hero or an adventurer or nothing. She was just trying to figure out a best way to live her life after, sorrow.
Totally.
So,
Well, I think
why would she
I
leave?
yeah. Well, in that case, I think what we should do is bring this season to a close, and we start season 3 with new characters, and your first quest will be to try to figure out the mystery of the disappearing hunters from the kingdom.
Oh God. Oh man. All right. All right. Perfect.
Warden just wants to protect the wilds. He is named such for a
I
reason.
know, but Warden is an absolutely perfect setup for what would be the next, the next run of adventures.
Yep, and from a different perspective, Warden could be considered the big bad.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's not evil.
His actions kind of, creating a bunch of undead.
Oh, he hates undead as a principle, but he's willing to use them as a means to an end.
Yes, very Machiavellian, which is not exactly considered in the realm of good guyism.
Oh, come on, it's like if he were to come across a necromancer, he would probably like smite him out of like sheer, principle of the thing. Like, how dare you besmirch the proper balance of things? However, these people now are eternal defenders of the realm. Therefore, they're not actually undead. They are unwilling volunteers.
They're literally undead.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
That's the definition. They are undead. So, I mean, he might hate necromancers on principle, but you show him his reflection in a mirror, and yeah, he's kind of turned into a necromancer.
No, he's just very pro-life. And sometimes to be pro-life, you have to kill a few people in the process.
Well, I mean,
I like Warden as much as I liked Alpha.
that's a very Republican argument.
I'm surprised, like, our druid and ranger didn't actually want to get along with him more. Like, he's all about protecting the wilds.
Dude, extreme.
Well, you
That's kind
didn't
of
even
bad,
mention
but,
Warden actually has
really
even
be
a
down for
familiar
it.
to help him out with this stuff. I forgot to mention that. He has a pseudo-dragon familiar. He's like the fundamental opposite of Alpha. He even likes dragons.
Yeah, along well with Castros. I think Castros was more just like, he had actually started to like Alpha, and then suddenly this happens, and he's like, God damn it. I think that's the main thing. Is that he had just started liking somebody, and then yeah.
No, I'm down.
You're right, he probably would get along with this guy. But now he's taking a more calm approach on life.
I'm completely down with starting a new character, and I kind of like where we left Dane because, we could totally.
He continues adventuring, doing what he loves.
Well, yeah, I mean, we could use Dane's situation as a setup for a completely new adventure at some point in time.
Exactly. Well, remember, our story never actually ends. We just change out the characters in the world. So all of your characters continue to exist. Your guys are going to be there when your new characters start doing things. Hence why you'll get to deal with the mystery of the missing hunters. You'll get to deal with, the stories of apparently a dwarven city that's being unearthed. A tale of a young druid that is half human. That's apparently the most amazing thing on the southern continent. I can't do much with Ray, sorry, but
Yeah, no, that's fine.
but there are stories there that can easily be integrated and told with as you're adventuring.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh. Okay.
I did have a character that I was planning on writing, but then you had to you had to re-mention that I had a son. Bro, I could play my son if I wanted to.
You could.
Yeah, you.
That'd be fun.
I've actually been trying to figure out what kind of character to do next because I'm kind of done with the whole Gandhian fervor frenzy thing. It's been a while,
Yeah.
but I generally don't know what character type to play because typically, Braun originally was just the cleric healer. And as this campaign showed us, we need healers.
Yeah. So before you get too much into it, so let me tell you what my next character is going to be.
Boy.
So, well, the girls have already heard it. I don't know if you have, Alex, and I've told Ben too. So he's going to be either an orc or a half orc. He's going to be an orcan paladin. But he's getting a trick plate on him. So he thinks he is a paladin for the goddess of love. But who he's really working for is Loki. Because Loki tried to hit on, this goddess of love and she rejected him. So in order to get back at her, he's making a paladin that thinks he's working for her, but in fact he's working for him. And the reason why he wants to be a paladin for the goddess of love is he just wants to get laid. So, and being an orc, he's not going to have a lot of success with that. So he figures, being a goddess of love paladin will help him. So that's going to be my next character. So we'll be able to have healing through him.
All right, that could work.
Forget about the bard being the horny one. Jeez.
That's right. Orc have much love. Orc wants to spread
my
love
God.
all over.
See, I want to try moving away from elf, but I love all the perks that being an elf grants. So I'm like,
Yeah, it's a tough one, I know, but you should check out on Fast Character Generator. They just updated a whole bunch of stuff and included things like, playing a leprechaun, for example.
What? Bro, now I'm torn because I was really excited about the little evil owlin that I was thinking of.
He can be your familiar.
That'd be two characters.
And
if anything, warlocks are generally have.
I actually really like this one character that the random character generator built for me for playing with the kids. And I just don't know if he would really fit into the campaign. But he's a celestial cube that is also a barbarian, berserker.
Yeah.
And
That's
and
right,
he
I
has
forgot
a
about that.
fundamental lack of understanding about creatures on the material plane. And he thinks like every single creature is the same.
Okay. So what exactly is a celestial cube?
So, on one of the outer realms, if you look at the Great Wheel cosmology, on the left side is Mechanus, which is different. It's basically completely run by machines. They're completely logical. It's all about order. It's what is it? Lawful neutral is the alignment, and basically it's a machine. It's a cube that has an arm and an eye socket. Basically like a Portal 2 type of a thing.
Yeah. The only difference is so these machines were built to be subservient or whatever their creator is, and then if they go rogue, which is what this one did, other machines are out to hunt them because they should not be existing as a rogue.
Oh. Okay.
So it's kind of this weird little thing where, yeah, he could join the party with complete lack of understanding of anything going on, and he is perpetually being hunted. So you could have random celestial encounters and stuff.
Oosh. That'd be tough to overcome.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. They're not that tough.
Oh.
He kind of was just purely because of his class, but nothing else. Because he happened to become a barbarian, so he had like, and the type of barbarian he was almost a protectorish type. So it like gave him little buffs.
Yeah. So
But I was thinking something like that, just like completely clueless, but more so than Alpha, more like dumb, not clueless. Alpha was just clueless, but this guy would be dumb in many ways.
okay.
Or I would kind of want to do like a pure stupid character, like cannot read, refuses to read because books are the tools of weaklings. He's very friendly otherwise.
Okay, well, that sounds like a either a orc or a hobgoblin or a goblin character. So I could see a goblin berserker. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. Actually, a goblin berserker who has a strength of like 8. So he always goes crazy, but then can't that'd be really frustrating to play. I go berserk.
Yes.
I get plus blah blah blah, but I roll a you do 2 damage.
Yeah, just make him like
Well,
the
they
joke
did
of
also
everything.
add.
Like no one takes him seriously. That's what sets him off all the time.
They did add a fairy to the list of playable.
Oh, there we go. Fairy
Characters.
berserker.
Oh, Barry Berserker wears leather, wants to be part of a biker gang or some junk like that. Oh God, wears a jacket that says "Hell's Fairies" on it or something.
Better not make me angry. I don't like me when I'm angry.
It's torn. Alan or my son? Which one?
Oh, your son
You'll have to
becomes
think-
an Owlin.
No.
Oh, I like this. No,
Oh.
that could totally happen. Like something happens where Castros pisses off a like an air genasi or something, and curses the son, turns him into an Owlin.
Because the Owlin and how I think Castor's son would turn out are very different. For example, the Owlin I was thinking of doing comes from a noble background. He comes from like a family that's like known for being like evil warlocks, and they're like, "Yes, son,
Wow.
go off, like find your your patron, like make us proud." And he comes back with like this giant turtle, this very peaceful giant turtle, and he's like, "Look, it's huge, it must be evil." And they're like, "Son, no, son, no." So,
Yeah, you're right. That wouldn't work.
they wouldn't want, no, they'd be completely different characters. But now I need this. I think, okay, here's my problem with being the Owlin. That's a lot of chaos, and that's a lot of very bold character statements. And especially for both. That would probably be way too much for a single party.
No, not necessarily. I mean, my character is probably going to end up being pretty chaotic himself. He's not going to be right. He's going to be in a city. He's going to be standing on a street corner holding a sign saying, free love. So, and seeing if maybe he can get lucky.
When he
that might
says
work.
free love, he thinks love has been captured, and it's his quest to go out and free love.
He's not quite that dumb. No, he doesn't want to pay for it, so he's hoping that someone will just kind of come up to him and avail themselves of his services.
But maybe if I go like a berserker fairy, my character would be that dumb. As, a quest! We must free this love you speak of. Death to the imprisoners of love!
Oh my God, a fairy berserker. How would you even do? I mean, you could fly, so that's something. But how would you even do any kind of damage or anything?
As a rogue, you have a little tiny knife that you're very precise with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Poison.
poison.
Do like the a very berserker concept, but just make it a rogue class.
Yeah.
That would work. Yeah, that would work. Okay, so that's interesting. All right, I kind of like where we're going. So I think we got 2 characters that might be kind of fun, and then Emily's gonna have to do some thinking.
Aster's son, I was totally thinking. Like, he would be
It needs to be dumb.
like very much takes after his personality. Sorry, he would very much take after his mom personality wise. So he'd be like a lot calmer than his dad. So he'd just be like way more intelligent, very observant, and be like, yes, I see, I get it. And then like his dad's like, son, don't forget your sandwich. And he's like, Dad. Like, Kazar's is like, oh, my sweet baby's going off to see the world, like purposefully to embarrass him, and he's like, Dad. Like,
Do you want a sloth familiar too?
just imagining making him like super intelligent, like only like nature smarts, but like no real world smarts because he's lived in that village his whole
Well,
life.
one of my favorite concepts that I ever read about from a D&D campaign was the whole party was barbarians with really, really low intelligence. So the DM kept trying to give them clues on the BBEG and like sending them to mages' lairs, but none of the barbarians could read and they thought books were stupid. So they had no idea what was going on. It's like, yay, we killed the guys, yay! And then they just looted whatever was shiny and left.
That's gotta be frustrating for the DM.
Well, it did come back to bite him in the end because eventually the whole bad guy was summoning a Tarask to destroy the world. And the players still outsmarted him in the end with all their barbarians. So they happened to come across a portable hole and a bag of holding in their travels, and they sacrificed one of their own in order to chuck it into the mouth of the Tarask, use Undying Rage to stay alive, and then shove the portable hole into the bag of holding to create a black hole inside the Tarask.
Oh, I would do it.
I would totally allow it. Which does bring up another point. So does on this next run, it doesn't have to be a whole campaign. I'm happy to do a full campaign, but does someone else want to do a DM for a little while? Maybe a short arc?
I wouldn't mind doing DMing at some point in time, but I have absolutely no idea how to do it.
Well, you pretty much just make it up as you go along.
Improv skills.
Yeah.
Maybe I could just like for like one last little tiny adventure with our current group, because I feel like he's vibing over.
It sounds like his adventuring days are over.
Still goes off and does things every once in a while just for the thrill. But yeah, he actually has stuff to live for now. He can't be super reckless like he once was.
You guys can go meet up with Warden sometime, or he can just stumble across you in inside the market at the edge of nowhere. As you think about it, like, you don't know he's got an army of undead that he's packing around. Like, he keeps them all inside of a little pocket dimension that he can just, carry around with him.
Well, only thing is, I have a similar problem. I've never DM'd before.
Yeah, first time for everything.
And I would just be like,
I did a while ago for some of my friends, but that was about it.
Alex is pretty good at it.
I've run a few games for the kids, but I really have to think about, like, what to do with this group, though.
Well, we'll do...
Well, we could do that. And
I
then,
can bring over...
Ben, you could be Warden.
Oh, Yeah, I was thinking of just grabbing
That
one of
works
my
too.
other characters, that I've already established. Because I have, a few of different levels that I've played in other games that, we could easily port over.
I just don't know why the
Yeah.
the team doesn't like Warden so much. He gave you boons. He bestowed them.
Well, yes, but it's one of those things where, he'll come back. Don't worry. I'm definitely going to have you play him after the work you've done. Yeah, you're going to be playing him, but we need
No,
to.
I meant
we'll
the
get
party
there.
after
How about
hearing
that?
the fact that he just, created an undead army because he's seeking out to protect the wilds and, perhaps get revenge at all costs.
The only
No,
problem is that Cassos doesn't like undead. People should
Oh,
stay dead.
Warden also strongly
That's true.
believes in that too. But because of that hatred, he also believes there's no greater punishment than to force that upon the unrighteous.
There's things that should just be eradicated in general. There are ways to.
I think the reason that people have that the party kind of they didn't necessarily reject them. I think I think the party kind of had PTSD after battling like they did through millennia basically, and just kind of one long run snarling skirmish, and then when Warden resurrects, he's kind of the exact opposite of Alpha's personality, which makes it kind of gave off the vibe of Warden being kind of a stranger. So I mean, I know, right? But I mean, that's just kind of the honestly, it's kind of the way it played out because Warden is so fundamentally
But just
different
because
from
you don't
Alpha.
know him doesn't mean he doesn't know you.
Well, yes, which absolutely explains Warden's kind of hurt feelings. I'm kind of surprised Warden didn't just go back up to the celestial realms where he came from in the first
exactly celestial. He's complicated. If one of you would have actually gotten good nature check or perception, you would have figured out that he's actually an Aasimar. So technically celestial, but actually more human.
Oh, okay. Well, and honestly, the way just things kind of played out this particular episode, it's just immediately the party just kind of splintered. I wasn't necessarily expecting
no one
that
wants
either,
to stay
but that's just
together
kind of what
anymore these
happened.
days.
So.
Everyone's just like, all right, I'm done.
Well, Gasworks had people to go to.
And Warden has glades to protect.
Go ahead. Yeah. Well, if so, like one of the games Alex ran for me, I was playing with the kids. I have this character named Stan. He's just Stan. He's a
Stan man.
He's a bard that has no weapons. The whole thing is based on like walking in and being like, "Hey, I'm Stan. How you guys doing?" And then rolling against the DM has to roll against his dice to see if they recognize him, and if they recognize him, they just basically are like, "Oh crap, that's Stan, guys! Don't fight him. Don't make him mad. Everything's cool, Stan."
Well, what happens if they actually win that roll?
We've had some fights, but generally speaking, it works. It's one of those things where he just walks in and he's like, "Hey, I'm Stan," and they're like, "What?" Because in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, there's a mechanic that allows you reputation, and you can use that for certain things that you establish. What your reputation does. So that I just played with that mechanic a little, probably too much, but it was hilarious. The results.
Weaponless bard named Stan. You would think that eventually somebody would. I mean, because if you develop a certain reputation, there's going to be someone that's wanting to build their reputation by defeating you. So,
yeah, we had that happen. Trying to remember how it worked out. There was some guy did something. I don't remember what it was, and Stan was like, "Oh no, that's okay," and he like puts his hand up next to the guy's head, and then a psychic blade just like shot out of his palm into the guy's temple.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. That'll work.
Stand the man.
But in any case, yeah, it was a fun one.
So, Abby, what's your next character going to be then? I mean, it looks like it's going to be an elf, but what class?
I'm gonna be a bard.
Awesome.
You going to be a male or a female bard?
Female.
Oh my! Does that mean you're going to try and sleep with everybody?
Trying to be original.
Well, I mean that's kind of the bard stereotype. Is they try and oh, so are you going to be like a virginal elf bard then? Like
Vestal Virgin Bard.
I think my fairy's going to be asexual. Because you're never quite sure if it's a man or a woman. Because it's like this all the time. And
Yep.
whatever you
Androgynous.
claim it is, like it's a male fairy, he gets pissed off, or it gets pissed off.
Okay. And then if you claim it, does it get pissed off again?
But that's how fairy kind is. They just get together and they fight until one of them wins and one of them loses, and then the sexes are determined, and then they make babies.
Yes, it's like snails jousting with penises.
Yep.
Hey, wow. Got it. That'd be kind of funny.
I'm also just debating like making the intelligence really, really, really low. So the fact is, like, it just never really understood what male or female meant. So he thinks that it's an
it just
insult,
is.
whatever it is that you're saying.
I'm going to cut you for that. What? Just ask
What
me
is
what gender
gender?
you are.
You'll die for such insults. How about you?
Oh, good lord. All right.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, because when
like it
I
so.
remember when I was in high school, we were in health class. There was this girl who she didn't know what fallopian tubes were right after we had studied anatomy, and she's like, "I don't have any fallopian tubes." I'm like, okay.
We
Yeah.
literally just covered this
Yeah.
like 5 minutes ago.
Apparently
No, she was
wasn't paying
just
attention.
not smart.
No, she was. She was really,
Yeah.
really not smart. I know exactly
Yeah.
who he's talking about.
So I was thinking about doing something like that with the fairy. Just do like that level of intelligence. It's like, of course I can read. Like, too stubborn to actually want to admit when it doesn't know anything, and because of that doesn't want to learn either. Like, it can, it just doesn't want to. And because of that, it thinks that it's smart. It's too smart to actually lower itself to the level of people who read books and do other silly big brain things that they say has a big brain, but proves that they have small brains.
I
If
like
you have
it.
a big brain, why do you have to spend studying all the time? You should just know things.
Yeah, there you go.
So, I guess just jump in the next. We just jump in next week with the new campaign.
I guess.
Sure, sounds good.
All right, I'll try.
Hey,
to
some
Well, I wanted to see. I mean, if someone else, that's what I was saying. If someone wants to DM, we can do that. Otherwise, I would just jump right in. I'm happy to spend the next week trying to come up with a plan.
I mean, easiest would be if we just do a new one
Okay.
and use today as the basis for a lot of stuff, because, you know, it's kind of all set.
Yes, but I want to have, like, you know, an overarching story. Like, I had this idea, you know, over a year ago that it took, 66 episodes to play out?
That was really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that. That's why I want to do something. I want to come up with some more little details and intricacies to throw in that we can, have fun with on this, and not just go straight for warden. Have some investigations and
Oh,
some
the
things,
way-
and
Yeah, you wouldn't want to
other
go straight
side
for
quests.
either.
Exactly, but I want to have like there's going to be a mystery side where you have to investigate, and then there's these side quests that lead to more, that even though it seems like it's an irrelevant side quest, there's actually little bits of information you get, and it builds you up towards these other things, and we figure it all out as we go along.
No, that's fine. That's great. I'm just kind of looking at stuff here. I think this will be fun. I think especially with my character. I don't know about the girls' characters, but my character and Alex's character, there's a lot to be mined, at least from the comedy angle for these two characters. I think we can play around with that quite a lot.
Yeah, I still don't know whether to do Castor's son
I
or
just
the
say
Alan.
do
My
both.
only problem
Like
with
your son was
Castor's
born with horns, but turns out they were
I
just
sh-
little owl feathers that were sprouting out.
Oh, it doesn't work. My main problem, I can't think for the life of me what personality Castor's son would have. I feel like he'd be a lot more headed just because you need that to deal with Castros, especially as a father figure. So I feel like he.
So I would think that your son would, yes, be a lot calmer. Probably not as take charge or aggressive, because Margaret's a pretty retiring kind of personality. So
But
yeah.
he's mostly just very intelligent and wise. And I was thinking.
So he's probably going to be making like the sly, sarcastic comments.
Exactly.
And I would think his overriding thing would be, his father casts a pretty large shadow.
True.
And his father did a really good job raising him. So I think above all, he's going to want to try and make his father proud. So that might be what's really driving him, and might make him, from time to time make rash decisions because he's trying to live up to his father's reputation. Plus, and he could also be, like you were saying, very smart but naive, especially city-wise, which means that he might be, especially in the beginning, taken advantage of by more unscrupulous peoples, because he's probably, especially being Margaret's son, going to be a little bit more trusting.
Yeah.
Castros was not trusting.
True.
So
And he's pretty much essentially how it's going to be is that he's ventured into the forest, but he's never really gone off outside the village before, so he's very sheltered.
Mhm.
But I was thinking of making him Circle of the Shepherd for his druid class, which is essentially like he's very he conjures animals a lot. He can speak with animals constantly, so he's very animal oriented, kind of like his father with Jeremy.
Dr. Doolittle.
But he would be then. The only problem with that is I want to make sure our party has enough raw horsepower behind it, because Castor's was a heavy hitter when he wanted to be. He could do a lot of damage, but now we have a bard, a paladin.
A paladin can be a heavy hitter,
It can be.
but he can also turn undead. And
I just
heal.
realized. Paladin with
Exactly.
smite. Your smite is like a heart falling from the sky and going whee.
Well, that's on his armor, his tabard that he wears. It's going to be a giant pink heart. So he's a paladin, but walking down the street, you're just going to see this huge pink heart on his chest.
I can pickle that.
Awesome.
I don't know.
Emily's going to be thinking a bit.
Oh yeah, because that Alwyn would be super fun, and that would give us the raw power we need. Because warlocks are primarily combat based.
Warlocks
It's
could
a
be
thing.
actually
Yeah.
quite a
While
few
a
different
Circle of
things.
Shepherd would be very
Like
supportive.
warlocks have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, I know. But that evil Alwyn would be such a record scratch.
No, so
among
here
everything
it goes.
else.
Your son was trying to learn how to wild shape, but didn't know the limitations. So when attempting to shape into an owl, ended up
Not
getting
gonna
stuck
be
as an
owl,
Alwyn
swear to
because
God.
didn't quite fully understand the magic.
No! It's not gonna be both.
Alan evil, chaotic evil, son, chaotic good. I'm guessing neutral good. So, I don't think it's gonna. It's not a good marriage. So
I might make character sheets for both of them and then just look at them and really compare them and see what you guys make and think of which one would be.
I mean, if we go straight comedy, so we got horny paladin, we've got rogue fairy, warlock Alan, and a bard elf.
Be in a lot of chaos.
Yes, that would be a lot of chaos and humor. But we don't necessarily a huge, long, involved campaign this time around. We could just do short campaigns, one-offs, so it would be I would guess it would be not as hard on you, Ben, and then you can, or maybe...
Oh, that's not a big deal. I mean, it's kind of what we do. There are multiple mini adventures with an overarching one. It's the Buffy approach. You got a bunch of mini adventures and then the big bad for the overarching season.
See, I always
Right.
thought.
Okay.
Well, wait,
So,
what was I going to say? Never mind. I actually forgot.
Yeah,
what I
go
was
ahead,
gonna say.
Alex. Oh. I don't know. I just that's a whole lot of good stuff right there, especially if we're not having to be super serious, or we could be super serious, but we are so ill suited for that invariably will probably fail.
I'm gonna use the character sheet maker to just make character sheets for both. I just rolled really well for freaking Castor's son. I got 4, which is the worst roll I got. Then it's 10, 17, 11, and 19.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I'll take
Yeah.
How about you make one that's an artificer,
so.
but instead of being one character, it's 3 goblins in a mech suit.
They'd be Inky, Blinky, and Clyde. 3 goblins.
Oh my god.
Yeah, one person is the head up top that
Okay,
does all the talking, wearing a horribly fashioned mask.
Yeah.
The other one controls the legs, and the other one controls the arms. Or one controls an arm and a leg, and the other one controls another arm and a leg. They think they're really well disguised and inconspicuous, but in reality, every single person knows that they're just 3 goblins in a mech suit.
That is stinking hilarious. And then what you can do with that, especially if one of them eats chili the night before, like the guy in the head controls eats chili and he's just gassing the other 2 out, and you hear, "Stop that! What are you doing? You're gonna kill us!" Yeah, that's just all kinds of funny right there.
I like it.
I say, if we want to do a fun campaign, make it as
All right.
ridiculous and fun as possible. And then we just have to cater it so the whole party just fails into success.
I'm thinking that's where we're going to be heading.
We kind of did that once using a different system that I played years ago with a group. It was the totally lame superheroes. You basically fail your way to success, like the Mystery Men.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm invisible, but no one can look at me. It doesn't work. Oh my god, yeah. I am the Waffler! Yeah, those are some really funny, lame heroes that they had in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I've still never seen it, and I keep meaning to watch it.
You really should. It's quite good.
It is. It is.
Cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good plan. I'll come up with an initial adventure, and we will roll this out. I would appreciate if everyone could send me their, new character sheets. That's to get us, rolling. I'm gonna put them on our website as a, for people that actually go and look at the supplementals and want to see what's going on.
Okay.
I'll create a separate section, season 1, season 2.
And then season 3.
Oh yeah, sorry, season 2, season 3. I forgot. Man, I'm all must be tired.
Well, it is almost 10.
Yeah. Well, in any case, I like it. I think it's gonna be great. I like the idea of us going on a comedy angle on this one, a little less serious.
Yep. I like the whole idea. It's super silly. I think it'll be great.
Awesome. Well, cool. That's a good session. Good wrap up for everyone. So props to everyone, to all the characters.
Yeah. It worked out well. I do feel bad about Warden now, but I don't know. I think that's just kind of the way the cookie crumbled on that.
You created your own nightmare.
Well, yeah, but don't worry. Like I said, Warden is coming back.
Yep.
He's not. That's the other thing. It's just like, this how we had the previous group this season come in for, their big final battle. We'll have Warden and the guys, or at least Warden pop up, going into season 3.
All right. Sounds good.
This has been an Azentuary LLC production. Find us online at azentuary.com for our character bios, merchandise, Patreon, and more. Thank you for listening.